Hello, welcome to Simple or Difficult. My name is Onoche Chukwode, and I wish to welcome you to this class, Computer Application and Architecture. I can't remember the code right now, but in this class, we are going to model this building, all right? This is actually the first class of many to come. And I must warn you, this class is not for Revit beginners. It is for intermediate users of Revit. I am going to still try my best to explain the things that I'm going to do and the reasons why we're going to be doing that. But in this class, we are going to take a look at the user interface. We're going to introduce this software as quickly as we can because we don't have all day. We're going to introduce the software, okay, the user interface, the Revit home and all what have you. Now, after that, we're going to start by conceptualizing the building, with lines and, design the building, the sites, okay? And after we have done that, we'll now get into the nitty-gritties of modeling this building. And as we go on in this video, I'll also be sharing tips and tricks. The things I'm doing, the shortcuts of how to do them quickly, and what you can do if you should find yourself in situations like that when you're working in your own Revit project file that is not this particular one that we're going to be working on. Now, as we go on in this video, all the assets I'm going to be using in this video are going to be made available in the description of this video, for free. Just go there, the windows, the doors, whatever that I'm going to let you know, when I use them in the video, that you can find this particular stuff I just used now in the description. So you should do well to check for all the assets in the description of this video. And if for any reason throughout the course of this class, and you have any question that you might want to ask, something that is confusing to you, something that you do not quite understand, or something I just sped through, okay, and you want me to slow it down a bit for you, you can do well to comment. Okay, drop your comments in the comment section and I'll try my best to answer the questions. Or when I get to class, okay, on Tuesday, you can actually reach out, and ask your question to me in person. All right. So if you are watching this video and you are not part of this class, you're also welcome. Okay. Watch the video. You have any issue, you can also comment in the comment section. Right. Without any further ado, let's jump right in and, we're going to start with the user interface of Revit, what it is and how you can get around, when you are doing your own projects. Right. See you in class. All right, so when you open Revit, this is what you're going to see, okay? This is called the Revit home, okay? This is where you will get to see how you can open an already file that you have created before from here by clicking open on this button, okay? You can see we have the same open new. Okay, the thing is, this one at the top here is for models. When you want to create a Revit model, that's okay, model your buildings, okay? This is where you do it from. You can either open a file that you've worked on, okay? Assuming the file is not showing here, because when you look at this place, you're going to see the recent files that you've worked on. You can just click on it here and it opens up, okay? Or you can click here and create a new file using a template. I'll be showing you how to do that in a minute. So here, it's for families. Families are things like this. You can see this is a sofa, a single-seater sofa. You can see an armchair, okay, 2 armchairs, right? So this is where you open already existing, furniture, family, components, sanitary fittings and all that. You open them from here or you create a new one if you know how to. We are not going to be doing that in this course. Okay, this is beyond the scope of this course. So we're just going to create a new model. Now back to this place. If yours is not showing the way mine is showing, it's because you're not using the new Revit home. If I uncheck this thing now, okay. Yeah. If I uncheck it, you're going to see this, where it separates the model at the top and then the families beneath. So, but nowadays I just prefer to work with this one, right? So, like I said before, you can either come here and click, anyone I click now is going to open the file for me now, or you can come here and you can search whatever. I can search apartment, right? Let me just say apartment and then click on search. That is going to give me all the apartment buildings that I've worked on here. Okay, so I can click on any one I want, but I don't want to do that. What we are going to do now is create a new file. Now you can change this view from grid view to list. You can see this is still your Revit home. You can click on this anyhow you want. So I'm just going to return it back. So let's create a new file so we can start modeling what it is we're going to be modeling, in this section of this class. So I'm going to click on new. When I click on new, it's going to bring out this dialog box here that is telling me to select the template file I want to use. Now, if you're using Revit 2024, okay, if you're using Revit 2024, you're going to have these multidiscipline templates: Imperial multidiscipline, Metric multidiscipline, right? Or you can just browse and get more. These are all new, these are all template files that you can use. But then you can see that they are English Imperial, right? If I go back, you're going to see English. That's the metric one. So you can still select any one you want from here if you don't want to use all the things that are going to be made available to you in the multidiscipline. Okay, but for the purpose of this class and what it is we're talking about, we are going to be using metric multidiscipline. Reason being that this is Nigeria. Okay, in this part of the world, we use metric system of measurement mostly. Okay, we still use the Imperial when you go to cyber. For the purpose of what we are doing in school, metric is what we normally use. So we are going to be using metric multidiscipline. Now, what I want to create is a project, not a project template. Okay, so I'm going to leave it as a project. If what we wanted to do is create a project template, we might now click here, and then whatever we do, it is going to be saving it as RTE. But now, if you keep it here in the project side, whatever you're going to do is going to be saved as RVT. That's the file extension. Okay, so I'm going to just hit OK now. That is going to open up the Revit user interface that we're going to be using to be creating the project that we're going to be creating. Now, I am not going to go deep into this, but I want to introduce you to the Revit user interface. I'm going to speed through it, right? So on top of here is the quick access toolbar. You are going to be able to access the tools that Revit feels like you use all the time up there. Now you can drop it down and then customize it and add new, you can see I can add new stuff from here, right? Or I can just select here and drop it below the ribbon. It will now be here, so I can add new things. If I want to add something to this place, all I have to do is come over here, right click, you see add to quick access toolbar. Now it is here. If I want to add something else, I can just come over here to add in the manage, click here, add to quick access toolbar. Now it is here. Okay, but leaving this stuff over here feels some kind of strange, but you can do it is what I'm trying to tell you. So if I click here and then I'll just say above. Now, when it comes over here, you see that the two things I added are no longer there. So if I click here, you're going to see them. This stuff here. Then now I can click down here to make some modifications to it. So that's the quick access toolbar. So over here, we have the ribbon, the Revit ribbon, right? This Revit ribbon is divided into multiple parts. Now, at the top, you're going to see this. These are tabs. We call it tabs on the ribbon. This is how you switch between, tabs on the ribbon so that you can access other tools that are available to you, because all the tools that you can use to work in Revit cannot be made accessible to you. Okay. Now, it get to a point where we no longer have rooms for all this. And moreover, Revit wants to categorize these tools for organizational purposes. Now, when you are in architecture, you have tools that are peculiar to you as an architect. Not that you cannot use tools that are in structure, okay? But then these are architectural tools used by architects to do their own work, when it comes to project modeling. Okay, so in structure, this is where structural engineers find most of their tools. You see steel also, you see precast. Then in system, that is MEP, right? This is where, mechanical and electrical engineers find what of it. So insert is where you bring in things into this place. You can link Revit from here. You can link IFC files. You can link CAD CAD is DWG file. You can link topography. You can import these things, okay? As you can link them, you can also import them. Look at where you can import CAD, import GB XML. You can import PDF now. You can import images all from this place. You can load in families from here, right? So in Annotate is where we use, okay, Revit can do 3D and also 2D. So in Annotate is where we, assess most of the tools that we will be using to be, doing our 2D aspect of Revit. For you to be able to communicate the ideas, we want to communicate very well to others that might need this information to be able to do their work or to construct this building, erect this building on site. So analyze is where we perform analysis in Revit, right? So in massing and site, that is where we do massing, okay? Massing of buildings and also, creation of families for those massing. Okay, we also do site topography, that's the topo solid, other site components, parking component, all those things, site property boundaries, all those things, we do it from here. We're going to be using this, okay? For massing and site, massing on its own, it is beyond the scope of what we're going to do today in this course. So we're going to be using this model site aspect very well in this class. So on the collaborate, this is where you access the tools that are enable you collaborate with other individuals. Okay. For the purpose of what we're going to be doing, this is going to be a class. Okay. You're going to do your work by yourself. Okay. When the time comes, we might have to touch this collaboration, on a separate class, right? So, view. This is where you access tools that enables you, it's either you create more view or enable people, you can do callout from here. You can create a section, elevation, all the views you need from here. Also, legend, schedules, all those things can also be accessed from this place. Sheets, all those things, you can duplicate views from here. Okay, all those things, they have shortcuts, which we are going to be using mostly. Okay, you can see scope box, you can also see revision, you can see match line, view reference, all those things help you in communicating, help you in improving what you see in your view or create more view. Let me just put it that way. You can also access your rendering from here, but you have to be in the 3D view to be able to do that. Sorry. That's not what I intended to do at all. So manage is where you manage the Revit project, right? It is where you can access materials from here. You can see all the project information, project settings. You can see project parameters, shared parameters, global parameters, project units. All those things are how setups for your project. Okay, additional settings. This is where you access other things like line width, arrowheads, fill pattern. All those things are inside the additional settings. You want to create a new fill pattern. You want to create a new line width. All those things, you can access them in this place. Then location comes in very handy when you want to set the location of your building. Okay, you can search where you want this building to be located and position it there so that the sun and all those things will all be in order. Coordinates, right? For coordination. Then position, we're going to be using this thing, but not all of it. We're going to be using it to rotate a project node. Okay, you can use it to mirror your project. You can use it to rotate your true node. You can use it to relocate project. All these things help you in the positioning of your building or your building site, in places that you want it to be. Then you have generative design, you have manage project. This is where you manage links and all that. You have other things, Dynamo player, all those things comes in handy when you need them. But for the purpose, we're going to be using the things that concerns us in this. So add-ins is where you get, when you add-in are like plugins. When you put a plugin inside, Revit, it is going to show up here. Escape, if you have Escape installed, it is going to be here. D5, this is D5 extension that enables you to export your Revit, Revit file to D5 for rendering. If you use D5, okay. If you don't and you want to, there are tutorials for you on YouTube. Okay. So modify is where you get additional tools that helps you to edit elements that you've already placed in here or to get a dimension of it. Okay. Things like that. To get more information, to edit them further, or to, I know you know what I mean. So after that, we have this. This is called the properties palette. The properties palette helps us do like 4 things. Okay. 4 things. Now that I'm not selecting anything, it is showing me the properties of this view. You can see when you look down here, you're going to see floor plan, L1 architectural. So anything I do here is going to be affecting this. But what happens when I draw this wall? Okay. When I draw this wall and select this, it is now giving me an option to edit right from here, edit the instance parameter of this wall. Now, if I come here and I make any adjustment here, these are the instance parameter of this wall. So if I make any adjustment to this thing over here, it is going to, let me just put this, duplicate it. I just held down Control and I dragged. That helped me duplicate this wall. So let me put it in 3D mode. I will select one of these wall. Instance parameters. Okay, like I was saying before, the parameters, those are the parameters of an object that you can adjust, and it will affect that object alone, not all the objects. Now, when I selected this wall, okay, it is giving me the instance parameter of this wall right out here. So if I decide to make this wall shorter by just make it 3000, the unconnected height 3000, you see only this wall gets short. Right? That is just the instance. This instance, only this instance gets short. Okay? So, but if I want all of them, this is the third thing that this thing does. If I want all of them to now become big, I can just come in here and make this the thickness of this wall to be 6000. When I do that, you find out that all of them became 6000. So this one I just did now is called the type parameter. So the properties palette enables you to, number one, adjust the settings of your view. Okay, when you're not selecting anything, it is adjusting it. Number two, it helps you adjust the instance parameter of the object you're selecting. And also it helps you adjust the type parameter of all the objects that are the same. Okay, because all these walls are the same wall. I just duplicated them. So they are practically the same. So when you want to adjust all of them at once, you use the properties palette for that. So I'm going to do Ctrl Z to return the wall back. Now, I said 4 things. Okay. What is the 4th thing that you can do with this a properties palette? So when I select the wall, okay, when I select the wall, you can see now the wall that is selected is generic 200 millimeter. When I click on it, you can see this thing is called the type selector. You can use it to now navigate and select the wall that you want. So I can choose to select this M exterior brick on CMU, and then when I use it and draw, you're going to see the reason why you're not seeing the different part is because over here in our view control bar, we are seeing this thing in medium. So if I set it to fine, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Oh, okay. Now, hold on. Let me go to the ground floor plan. Now, when I come over here and set it to fine, you're going to see the different this thing. So I was hoping that this will show. Okay, it doesn't show in 3D, as we can see now. I've changed it to fine. So moving on. So you can see with this now, the type selector, you can also, while you have already placed it, you can select it and come over here in the type selector and change it to something else. Okay? So that is the 4th thing that you can do with this. Right. So now notice that when I click on this and select the wall 2, something appeared here. These are called the option bar. The options bar are used to make adjustment to, okay, let me just start. Let me just create this wall. So before I create this wall, I can use this to set the level where I want this wall to start. I can set L1 or L2. Okay. I can set the height, set it to height or depth. Okay, unconnected height is already this. So I can decide that, okay, I don't want the unconnected height to be that long, to be that high. Rather, I can make it 2000 millimeters. Right. So the location line, I'm going to talk about this thing when we start modeling. Okay, I can change the location line from here. I can make it finish face exterior and then offset. I can set the offset, the radius, whatever from here. That's what the options bar. So you don't have to start making modifications after you have placed. So now you can see, as I'm placing it, you can already see that it is very long. As I'm creating it, it is creating a chain for me. I may not want this chain. So you can turn off the chain from here. So you create a wall. When you stop, it cuts it off. Okay. It is not linking it up. Okay. If that is what you want to do, you can very well do that. Okay. So here that I'm working on, since this is the drawing area, we draw inside here. So the name, drawing area, that is very intuitive. Underneath here, we have the view control bar. Let me go back to the plan. The view control bar is where you control what you see in the view. The name suggests it all. So if I want to increase the scale, you can access it from here. If you want to increase the level of detail, okay, the detail level, you can access it from here. If you want to affect, the way you see things, if you hover there, you're going to see the name. That's the visual style. You can change it to realistic. You can change it to texture. If you want to adjust the sun path, you can adjust it from there. If you want to adjust the shadow, this is the shadow. You can turn on the shadow and turn it off from here. Okay, this is where you want to okay, right now we cannot access that because we are using the scope box for our clipping, right? If we come over here and turn off the scope box to none, you can see it is now asking you to not to crop. When I do that, you find out that it is not cropping it. Like if I do it's cropping it, you can see this wall over here if I cropping. So if I click on this one, it's going to hide that crop. Okay, this is the crop region. It's going to hide it for us. Now with this, we are going to do temporary hiding. Okay, so I can hide the element that is selected, and when I do it, you see this cyan colored stuff showing to tell you that something is hidden temporarily. So you can now come over here and tell it to apply the hide or reset to reset it, so that it will bring all the things that you have hidden temporarily. We're going to be using this thing a lot. I'm suspecting we're going to be using it a lot in this. So just in future, we're going to talk about it and other things that you can find in that object, in that view control bar. Underneath here, we have what we call the status bar. Okay, in this status bar, we also have the selection, options. You can see here selection link. You can also see here select underlay element. All these things you can find over here. And also when you select something, it is going to tell you the number of the things that you are selecting over here. Like if I should add to this selection, you can see it is telling you 2, 3. Now this same 3, it is, I selected 3 walls, right? It is telling that you have selected 3 stunting. When you come over here, you're going to see walls in bracket 3. It's still telling you that you selected 3 walls, right? Now, all these selections, all these things you're seeing here, you can see drag on selection. You can see, select element by face, all these things. When I come over here and click this thing, you're going to see all of them here. Okay, select link, drag elements on selection, all those things, select element by face, all those things that you're seeing here are also there. So they are here in the status bar to help you access them without coming here to drop anything down. Now, in this place, we have the project option bar. From here, you can do project option. We're not going to be doing that in this, particular class, but it is something you can check out in your free time on YouTube. A lot of courses that can, put you through on how to do that. Now, here is where we call, okay, what happens here is it really tries to suggest to you what you can do next. Now, when I hover around here, I've not selected it yet. So when I hover around here, it is going to tell me what I'm hovering around. Just look over here, you're going to see it. When I hover around, Revit will tell me that is the object you're hovering around. When I select it, okay, right? So when I click on this, Revit is going to tell me click enter for a start point. You can either click enter or you can just left click on your mouse. Okay? It is not trying to tell me enter the whatever. Vertical flip. Okay, so vertical space flip orientation. So if I hit space, it is going to flip it for me. So it is trying to suggest the things you can do when you are doing this thing, when you are modeling in Revit. Okay, that is it for the status bar. Now over here we have the project browser. In the project browser, you can access your views. All right, you can go to the floor plan from here. You can go to the elevation from here. You can go to the ceiling plan. You can even search. Okay, you can search your views in the project browser. You can search the floor plan. It is going to bring out everything that has floor plan for you. All right. So I think this started in the recent versions of Revit. If you're using older versions of Revit, you may not have this ability to search in your project browser. So basically, you access your sheet from here, your schedule, your legends, and then your views, your floor plan views, your elevation, your section, and other views that you might need when you're working in Revit over there. So I think that pretty much covers it. Okay, when you are here, you can see these navigation tools here. You use them for navigation. But if you're using mouse, you really do not need all these things. You can, with your mouse, your middle mouse button, you can hold it down to pan. Okay, when you're in 3D, when you're in the 3D view, you can hold down shift, use your middle mouse button to orbit. Now, you can use left click to select objects. When you right click on it, it is going to bring out this additional menu for you. Okay, the quad menu, as I call it, for you to be able to, these are shortcuts of things that you can find somewhere in this Revit. Right, speaking of shortcut, you can hit KS on your keyboard to bring out the keyboard shortcut. With this, you can customize it to whatever you want. Right? So let's just say I want to customize something. What do I customize now? Trim extend to corner. I've already customized it, but I want to show you how I did it. Now, normally these two things, they don't have anything. Right? Let me just remove it. They don't have, they just come in like this. They come in blank like this. So now I want to set the first one, the trim extend to corner, the single element. I want to set it to T1 because single, T1, right? So I just hit, selecting it like this, I will click T and 1. So selecting it like this, I'll come over here, click here, press T and 1, and then assign. That enters into that place. Okay, so the same applies to other things that you might want to set your shortcut. So whatever you feel like it's going to be easier for you to remember, one, and also very easy for you to reach quickly on your keyboard, you can just set it. And then when you are done, you come over here and hit assign, and then say okay. That is it. You will set your keyboard shortcut. Right. So I think we better start this. I've spent 24 minutes trying to explain to you how to use Revit. Okay? I'm not supposed to do that, but here we are. So I'm going to select all these things and I'm going to delete them. Let's start work. So I'm going to come over here on the site. You can see the site plan. I'm using the Revit multidiscipline template like I showed you earlier. So let's go on and start this project. Now, the first thing we're going to do is draw a site boundary. Okay, I was able to come up with a site boundary. Okay, this is not an actual site. I came up with this site for the purpose of what we're doing. Okay, it is going to be suitable for the building we want to design. Right. So I'm going to, before I hit this project line, when I hit it like this, you're going to see it's going to divide this thing into north, south, and east to west. All this will now require the normal survey plan that the surveyors give us. It is going to require us to start solving bearing. I, for one, I don't like solving that bearing, but Revit has made it in such a way that you can actually impute the exact stuff that the surveyor gave you. Okay. Right, so I'm going to show you how to set it to be able to do that. Now I'm going to click here and I'm going to click on project line data. Instead of having this degree from north to south or degree from north and south, I'm going to have degrees, just degrees, degree, minutes, and seconds. So I'm going to say, okay. Now when I come in here, create by entering this thing, you're going to see just one. You're not going to see that north and south and then east and west. Now, all we have to do here is to impute our distance, impute the bearing, and that's it exactly the way it is on this survey plan. Mind you, I just came up with this survey plan on my own. Okay, how did I do that? I looked at an existing survey plan and I changed the numbers. Okay, because if not, I don't think I would have gotten it without any instrument. Okay, so moving on. I'm going to type in 26570. That is the first distance. Okay. That, mind you, this is in millimeters. Okay. So in the bearing, I'm going to type in 46. Now, please, whatever you do, try not to delete the degrees and the minute symbol. Right? There is a way to bring it back. I just don't know it. All my life, I've avoided it, deleting the symbol. So I didn't bother myself to figure that out. So we are going to add four more data. So I just hit insert. Okay. When you mistakenly over add, you can just delete it back by clicking on delete. So the second one is going to be 3532. Oh, sorry. 35320. Right? Yeah. So for the bearing, okay, I'm going to type in 141 degrees and then 57 minutes. 26570 Then for the bearing, right. So I mistakenly deleted my degree. Wow. So we're going to have to add it, right? Now the next bearing, let's just continue. 226. To add degree, just hold Alt on your keyboard and press, just while holding down the Alt, press 0176. That is going to add it for you. Now for the minutes, I'm going to type in 31. 35520. But now if you don't have the number keys, I don't know what to because the number I use to add the degrees are the numbers on my number pad, not the ones above. Okay, so there is that. Wait, let me see if it's going to work with the one above. 0716. It's not even working. It's big. So you have to use the one on your number pad, right? So this is 321. Then 55 in this place. So after that, just hit OK. We are done. Right. So that is it. We have a road. Let's go over to annotate. You're going to see the detail line. We're going to use it and draw we have a road passing through the front of the site. Don't worry about that. We're going to adjust it shortly. I'll go over to the modify tab and then select the align to, so I can align it. Now I'll use the offset tool and offset this. I'm going to make it like 7 meters. That's the road. Right? That's the road in front of the site. That is where we're going to be accessing this site from. Now, this is the true north. This is the way it is according to the surveyor's plan that I came up with. But then I want this place to be on the ground, because the building we're going to model is going to be like this. It's going to be, just follow my cursor, it's going to be like this. So I want us to be able to look at it from this down part that it is going to be accessed from. So we're going to be rotating our project north. Okay, we're going to be rotating our project north to be able to do that. So how do we rotate project north? We go over to manage, in the position, project location, in the position, we're going to rotate the project north. So the first thing I want us to do is to align it. Okay, you align it like this and say, okay. The second thing I want us to do is now to rotate it by 90 degrees clockwise. When we do that, it is going to position itself. Say, okay, again, position itself. Now you see that if we are going to keep our building like this, these views are not going to be of any help to us now. So we're going to just select it and we're going to delete it. We're going to select them rather, and we're going to delete them. So I will just do that. And we're going to add a new one, mind you. I will be showing you how you can add new one. So see, I'm selecting a window selection and then deleting them. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to draw a wall, set it to rectangle so I can draw this like this. So I'm going to go to the view. I'm going to come over here to the elevation. You can see elevation. So I'm going to select elevation, building elevation. All right. So I'm going to, because we have this here, once I come close, it is going to point to that direction, as you can see. So like this, now I'll go back and then click it here. The same. Now it's pointing away, but if I come close a little bit, it's going to point towards this direction. And there we have it. We have our project. So I'm going to this is the site plan. We can leave it at 1:200. So we're going to come over here to the architectural. Okay, to the architectural plan. That's the ground floor, right? First of all, we're going to select this and then we're going to delete it. Right. So the next thing I want us to do is just to quickly do like a mini site plan before we start modeling. Right. So I'm going to do that very shortly and then I will explain it to you. All right. So I finished the site planning. This is the car park, as you would imagine. This is a block of flats. We're going to be working with a block of flats for the purpose of what it is we're going to be doing. And that was like a boys' quarter behind, right? That was the gatehouse. Okay, so this there's a reason why we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Because we're going to be having 6 units in this compound. Okay, we're going to having, front unit, back unit. We're going to having 2-story building. That's 3 floors in this place. So that's a total of 6 units in this particular site. So each unit owns 2 parking spots, right? So that's according to the code. Now, when you go around this side, this is where the road is. Okay, so now Revit is asking me to save my file, right? I'm going to tell you this. Whenever Revit asks you to save, please endeavor to see that you saved. Because if you do not save, if you think you still have time, something might just happen and that will lead to you losing your file. And when that happens, there might be no way, you can recover what you have done. Okay? Even if you do recover it, the recovery might not be up to the current position, the current place you were at, okay, when the file crashed. And that might lead to you losing hours and hours of hard work that you have done. So what we are going to do now is we're going to agree and save, as Revit has told us to save. Now I'm going to go to my document and I'm going to save it here. I'm going to call this Computer Application Class 1. Computer, let me use capital letter where I'm supposed to. And when I finish that, I don't just say save. I will go in here to ensure that my maximum backup is not more than 3, because sometimes you open this place and you're going to see 20. You don't need up to 20 backups, right? Me personally, I like to have 2 backups plus the main file. That is going to give me 3 files. So I'm going to say, okay. And then I'll hit on save. Congratulations, you have saved your file. Now back to what I was saying before, okay? I want to show you when you go around this building, this is where, don't forget this is where, let me even go and bring the road. I'm going to copy it, Control C, and then I'm going to come over here, and then I'm going to drop it here. Okay, as you can see. So that's the road. So from the road, we're supposed to have like 6 meters to the building. And when you do that, you find out that we're having 6 meters, you can see, because I want this building to be straight, not following the side boundary. You can see we're having 6 meters. So by the side, we're supposed to have 3 meters. This is according to the building code. Without this, your building might not get approved. Not that it will not get approved. You can see you have 3 meters from there. Also, we have 3 meters. Oh, okay, a little bit. We have 3 meters from here as well. All right, so here, obviously, we are going to have a car park here, and we need a driveway for the car to drive in and park where they're supposed to park. Now, this is the gatehouse. The gatehouse can be on the fence, as you know, and then we have 2.5. It's supposed to be 2.5 meters gap between the main building and the gate. So we can still have like a children play area here, or we have a tank stand for a tank in this place, or we have a sit out, whatever you want to do for the entire yard. You can have it here. You can even have a birthday, whatever, cook up, whatever you want. But the purpose of this course is for us to model this building. All these ones I'm doing are additional information that I thought you should know. Now, so let's get to it. Now, I asked a friend of mine, Architect Chisholm, and he was able to provide me with like a quick block of flats so that we can just, get to it. So we're just going to recreate the design that he gave me. So very quickly, I'm just going to come over here. Okay. We're going to get 8,250 here. The same thing over there. So this becomes this unit, the front unit and the back unit, or the left or in this case, the left unit and the right unit. So what we're going to do now is to start making the demarcation, okay? So first of all, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to pick the offset tool. I'm going to type in 5030, okay? I'm going to offset it this way. Let me dimension this. You know what? Let's just come over here and make this place 3225. I'm with something. So we're going to offset this place this way. Let me just add 1000. That's for the visitor's toilet. Then we're going to offset it inward by, you know what, let's make it 1 2. Okay, let me, you know, my deleting a segment is on, so that helps to get rid of. If you delete, if you split here and split the other place, it is now going to delete the inner segment of the line or whatever element it is that you are splitting. Right, so the next thing I want to do is, you know, demarcate the bedrooms. Okay, demarcate the bedrooms. So I'm just going to, the first one down here, I'm going to add 4 Cs. Okay, the one up there, I'm going to make it 4725. Okay. Right. Let me just terminate this thing here. We're going to deal with that later. But up here, we're going to have a kitchen and we're going to have a dining on this top part. So for here, I'm going to offset 2550. Now I'm going to offset it towards the right-hand side. Okay. Whenever it asks you to save, please endeavor to save. Now we're going to have a dining by this side, but before that, we are going to have an entrance porch or a back, you know, the kitchen terrace behind there. Then we're now going to have a dining. And then right next to the kitchen, we also going to have a kitchen store. So I'm going to offset 15. Okay, from there, that will be the kitchen terrace. Then from inside the kitchen, I'm going to do 3275. Offset it inwards. I'm going to delete this one now. For this, I'm going to trim it. So I want to keep the lines at bay so it doesn't get confusing. Now for the kitchen store, I'm going to offset 1375. Okay, yeah. So that serves as the kitchen store. Okay, let me cross check this line. Okay, this one. All right. Okay, this is supposed to be 4,650. Right, so it is supposed to flush with this particular line. That was why I just decided to check it out. All right. We're almost there. Okay, for this one, I'm just going to, this is a toilet, the one for the toilet, right? And then going to just, you know, close off that one over there. For now, I'm going to leave it like that. So for here, I'm just going to take this one. So the toilet, the visitor's toilet is in this area, while we have the balcony or the terrace for the living room, you know, entrance, porch, terrace, and all that. And inside here will be the place for the planter. Now, these 2 bedrooms are going to have a bathroom. Let's, you know, handle that right away. So to add a toilet, I'm just going to CS to create similar, you know, draw a line here and make sure it's in the middle of these 2, of this space right here. Okay, I'm now going to delete that dimension. I'm going to select the offset tool and type in 2000, and offset it like so. All right. So I'm just going to open this up right here. And for the wardrobe, I'm going to offset this line inward by 675. And then from this side, I'm going to insert it towards the right-hand side by 1875. Okay, I think I know that I added that line. All right, so all right, yeah. So I'm going to do the same thing for the bedroom down here. So I'm just going to, let's just bring this one down. $675. I was going to join this one just like that. So I'm just going to delete all these dimensions so that we'll have a clear cut, idea of what we're doing. Now, these bathrooms are going to come into this space a little bit. Okay? They are going to just come in by 600. I'm going to extrude it 600 on both sides. So 600 here, and then 600 here. So that's just it. Not that. Yes. Now from this middle, I want to extend these bedrooms a little bit. I want to extend this one and make it 1050. And this one, maybe that's in 1050. Okay, I want to also flush this. Right, flush those lines to give it a clear cut look. So I'm going to offset this line by 1.5 for the kitchen store so that we can access the kitchen from here. Right. So yeah, I think we are basically done with this planning. So I'm going to start adding the walls. Later, we're now going to add the windows and the doors. So to add the wall, I'll just come over here to the architecture tab, and then you see wall, you select wall. Now I'm going to set using the type selector, I'm going to select the wall we're going to be using for, this project. We're going to be using 150 millimeter wall and then 225 millimeter wall. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this one because what we're having here is 200 millimeter wall. So I'm going to duplicate it and rename it to get the 225 wall that we are going to be using for the project. So I'm going to come in here and then type in 225. That's all you need to do to increase the width of the wall. So I'm just going to draw the line. So now there's something I want us to actually talk about, the location line of the wall. Because that simply means where the center of that wall is when you're creating. You can see now the location line is at the finished face exterior. Now if I should put it at the middle, which is wall center line, you can change it from the options bar, or you can also change it from the properties palette. Okay, so anywhere you change it, it's still the same thing. So this wall center line, now when I draw this, you find out that this wall, is now where my cursor is when I'm placing the wall is the middle of that wall. So I'm just going to do it like that. For now, I'm going to just create it from the middle. and then this is okay for now. There is something very important that we need to do, and that is go and set our levels. With this level, we are going to now control the height of elements. We're going to set our floors and levels, like our floor levels, the ground floor plan, the DPC level, the first floor. You get the idea. So let's go and do that. Okay, so we'll either do that from the elevation or section. So let's do it from the elevation. So when I select this, I'll drag this thing to make sure I'm seeing everything, that has to do with the building, because everything is going to fit into this space. So I'm just going to open this place. Now, for this level, you can see what I just did now. When you want to create an elbow, just like I did, you come over here, you see this zigzag, when you hover around it, it's going to ask you, do you want to add an elbow? If you click on it, it is going to add an elbow for you, but I don't want to add an elbow to this particular one, so I'm going to leave it like that. Now, by default, you already know that the natural ground level, which is NGL, but I'm going to add a number so that it arranges it for me in the project browser, that is this place, serially the way the floors are arranged. Now, let me even make this 00 NGL. That means the natural ground level. Okay, it is going to arrange it for us in that order. Okay, this one, I'm going to call this one 01, ground floor level. Let me just call it ground floor. I think that's better. Okay, so let me go back to the elevation. So I want this one to be 450 from the natural ground level. Okay, that's the ground floor. Then the first floor. Okay, to create this, is either you come over here and you select level, or you just select it and create similar. You can either come here and click on this button that is going to create this grid, start the creation of the grid for you, so you now place it where you want it to be. Or you can just hit CS. When you look beside that thing, you're going to see CS. CS is the shortcut of creating similar. So I will now use that to come over here and create similar. I want to change this thing to 1:100. Yeah, so that it gives us, the space that we need. So I'm going to make sure that it snaps. Hold on a minute. Make sure that it snaps so that when I move one, all of them moves. So something is not right. Yeah. Now all of them are moving together. That's what I wanted to figure out, because I need them to be moving together so I can bring them closer together without having to do them separately. So this L3, I'm going to rename it to 02 first floor. Okay, I'll just come over here. Let me just quickly come over here and rename this one. Just click on it. Because for some reason it is not renaming them automatically. I think that's part of the issue I'm having with this metric multi-discipline, that template that we used. And when you look over here, you're going to see that we are not having the levels. what you can do is select the levels and you delete them and create them. But I don't advise that because it is going to delete everything you have in that view, and we don't want that to happen. So you can just come over here and change these views. So I have to do everything manually, like so it's just what it is. Yeah, but for the sake of what it is that we are doing, it's advisable for you to just rename them so that you know where you are and what you're doing. So for this one, the height of this I'm going to put at 3,900. Right? So when you dimension this, you find out that the distance from the ground floor to the first floor is 3,450. So CS to create another one. It doesn't really matter where you place this, just place it somewhere. Okay. And then I am going to create one additional, floor, which is the roof level. So this I'm going to name 3 second floor. This I'm going to name 4 roof level. Yeah. So I will tell these walls to go from NGL to where? Exactly, the first floor level. You guessed it. So this one I'm going to make 7,350. Then the roof level, I'm going to make this 10,800. Okay, I'm going to select this and I'm going to open it up for us to have a view of what it is that we're dealing with. Exactly. So I don't know why these things, the thing that came with the template is always giving us issues, but you can see the way I solve it. I just, take this in, and then now when you move them, they move together, which is what we actually want to achieve. Now, that is it for the setting of levels. So let's go back to the ground floor. Okay, I was actually working on the NGL. So let me go to the ground floor and then turn it, you know how we do it. Come over here to the orientation. I'm going to remove this scope box and put it in none. Then go over to orientation and I'm going to set it to, hold on a minute. Yeah, project notes. That will turn it for you because I was wondering at the time, project notes. So yeah. Project note, that's where we are, and everything is looking pretty much the same. So let me go back to this place and copy this line that we've drawn. Even this one too. Copy it and then come over here and paste it. Okay, I think I mistakenly copied that wall too, but we're going to delete it when we paste it. So I'm going to paste it aligned to current view. So it is going to paste it at exactly the same place. The sound we just heard now is because of the error due to the wall that we had there before, was copied and pasted on top of it, so it gave us that error sound. So now let's go ahead and just model the walls, add the walls, put the walls in place, and then make adjustments where need be. So just do it this way. Don't worry, we're going to push it in. Okay. If there's any wall we are going to make 150, we're going to make that adjustment later. But for now, let's just add walls. Let me just extend this one. Let me not create 2 walls there. Then for these ones, I'm going to extend this. If in future we need to cut these things off, we'll cut it off. But for now, this is what it has to be. All right, there's a wall. We need to have a wall here. So I'm going to draw another wall into that position, then extend this one to this place. Right. So that is it. We have created our first section. Now, the thing I want us to take note of is we are supposed to have 3 meters from there. And as you can see, it is not 3 meters. So that means we need to take this in. Okay, for some reason, this is not, but yeah, 3 meters. So all these ones, we're going to take them in as they should be. Okay, I'm going to change all the walls to 150. All right, instead of having 225, I'm going to make everything 150. So I'm going to filter it and select just the walls. All right, so yeah. Okay, I'm going to add, make this 2475. So 2475. Right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to adjust this. Let me use this one as well. So this is supposed to be 3275, right? While this is supposed to be, I think it's okay like this. I think it's cool. But I'm thinking, shouldn't this be like 1.6? All right, so yeah. We have the kitchen, we have the store, we have the dining area. Okay, let me dimension this and see what I'm going to have. Okay, cool. Cool. So what I'm supposed to have here is 1.5, just like that. Yes. All is in order. So in here it's supposed to be 2.4 exactly. All right, so I'm going to have like a double wall here. Okay, this, in order to have the duct. All right, so I'm going to create a duct here. So I'll add, let me make it 300. Right. I know what? 450. Okay. Exactly. Okay, let me take a look at this. So I'm going to make this 600 and this one I'm going to make this, yeah. So 600. Exactly. All right. Okay. So I'll just delete these, and then we are golden. Okay, let me take a look at this. I'm going to reduce this to 550 actually because I need more space in this room. The same goes for this place. 550. All right, so in here, I wonder what we're gonna have. Let me make it 1.5. 1.6. 1.6. I think that will be okay. That's fine. I think it's better this way, so I'm going to leave it like this. 1.8. Yeah. So cool. So we're going to have door here, we're going to have door there, we're going to have the wardrobes and all that. So I believe that this space is almost done. So what I'm going to do now is confirm that what I'm having here, I am having 8,400 on this side. I'm going to come over here and draw a wall there. I want to confirm that what I'm having here is 8,004, exactly the same thing. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to draw a line. And in the middle of that line, I'm going to draw another line like this. Okay. Then I will select everything except for this wall and those ones. Okay. And I'm going to come in here and make sure that I'm selecting only the walls. Now I'll come to the modify tab. In here, you're going to see mirror pick axis. So I'm going to select it and click here. That is going to flip it for me. Now there's a wall here that has repeated. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to delete that. Okay. And then trim this. Okay. Trim that up. Okay. So I'm just going to trim this one over here. Select that and delete it. So trim it over here. And yeah, that's it. Yep. So I'm just gonna bring this out to flush it because I can't live with myself if I let those two things not flush the way I feel they should flush. So I'll select this and delete it. Now select and then get rid of all the lines that I use, to guide myself. In fact, lines and the dimension, and I'm going to delete them. Now this is the basic, space that we are supposed to work with. I'm going to put it in 3D so that we'll get to take a good look at it. This is it, right? If there's any other thing, we're going to be adding it later on in this video. So with all the walls selected, I'm going to make sure that all the base starts from the NGL and then all the top ends at the first floor. And that is what I've done now. And that is what it is. So I'm going to come over here, select this, copy this, and then drop this down. Okay, before I do that, it is going to be longer than normal because I added the NGL to it. So I'll just come over here and then paste it in place. Okay, I'm going to paste align to current view. Now, when I do that, I am going to minus 450. I'll put that minus 450. I'll change it to 0, what I've just done now. Okay, and that has solved it. So I will copy this particular one and then I'm going to align it. No. I'm going to align this one to the second floor level. Right. So you can see this is what we're having. It's a 2-story building now. Okay, so by the time we're done, we're going to have things going on here. Right. So okay, there's something that I even failed to do. This wall is not supposed to be there. It's not supposed to be part of what we're dealing with. It is supposed to be a floor and a handrail. So I'm going to take care of that now. So I'm going to add a line there. Let me just draw the line in. And I'm going to trim this off. This one too. So I'm going to draw that line I drew before. Okay, so let me first of all trim this off. I have shortcuts for this, so I just press the shortcuts on my keyboard and that gets the tool out for me. So I'm just going to select this, okay? Then I'm going to align it, okay? I'm going to okay. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to trim this off. Right. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, so that's the same thing I'm going to do over here, but this one is pretty straightforward, so I won't need to add a line there. So I'm going to use the split tool, split it here, split it there. My delete inner segment is active, so it is going to, make it create that opening for me when I cut it in these two places like so. So the same split tool, going to split it here and here. Okay, just like that. Okay, so when I go to the 3D view, yes, I'm seeing what I'm supposed to be seeing. Now, the next thing I want us to actually work on is to add the doors and the windows. And then we add the staircase and the floors, So let's go ahead and do that. But hold on a minute. Before we do that, there's something I've forgotten to do. And that is to add a duct. Okay, these two toilets is supposed to have a duct on this outer wall. So I'm going to add that now. It's just simple to add a wall. just like this. And then let's get the dimensions, the distance accurately, the location of it accurately. So I'm going to just dimension it from here. That's good. Then this inner part, and then like this. So here it's supposed to be 450, and this is supposed to be 350. Okay. So let me delete this, and then just duplicate it this way. Okay. I'm gonna make this 350, and then this one also 350. Sorry, 350. $400. Okay, I think this is okay now. I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay, 200. I'm just gonna select it from here. MM on my keyboard to activate this tool. That's the mirror peak axis, and I'm going to drop it over there, and it's going to take it all the way. Now I want to ensure that this is NGL. Okay, started from NGL, and also this one started from NGL, so I can copy both of them. In fact, I will just from here, and I'm going to stop it at the roof level. Okay, this is where it's supposed to end, right? So this works. There's really nothing I'm going to do to it. I'm just going to be, So now let's go ahead and add the windows. Now for the windows, we are going to be using 3 types of windows. We're going to be using a single panel window, single pane window. We're going to be using double, or we're going to be using triple casement windows. So I mean projected windows. So the first thing I'm going to do is to bring in the windows, right? So I'm going to select, this is a triple window. If I should come in here and select this, you're going to see a triple window. That's the double. That's the single. So I'm going to select all 3 of them, and I'm going to drag them into this place. Now, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to attach these files, these component files in the description. So do well to download them for free. So now when I come over here in the architecture tab and I come down here to Windows and I click on it, it is going to enable me place the windows that I just imported. You can see the triple window. So when I select this, I'm going to place it here. So I want this window to be 1.8 by 1.5. That's the size of it. And then I want the head height. Okay, it's already 1.8. And I want the head height to be 2.1 meters. That's 2,100. So I am going to position them like so. Now this window is going to be 600 from the wall. So I'll select it and add 600 from the wall. And that is it. So I'll select it from here. Check the head height over here. Ensure that the level that is on is the ground floor, level. Now, if you on the ground floor level, when you place this, it is automatically going to be on the ground floor. But if you're somewhere else like the NGL or the first floor, it is going to be on those floors. But you can actually select it, come over here, click here and select the level you want it to be, and it's going to go over there without asking any questions. So as it is now, I'll come over to the head height and I will type 2,100. Mind you, I'm working in millimeters. That is the same as 2.1. So, and that is the only place we're going to be having this window. Let me just flip it this other way. Right. So the next, let me turn this thing off. The thin lines. Let me turn it off. So the next thing I'm going to do is add in the double windows, because that is mostly what we're going to be having here. The double windows, we're going to have it here. We're going to have it back there as well. We're also going to have it at the kitchen over here, and then in the dining. So I'm going to select the windows, and I'm going to come over here and find that double window. I thought I brought it in. So I'm seeing the triple, I'm seeing the concept, but I'm not seeing the double that we just brought in. So I'm just going to bring it in again. Okay, so I'm going to bring it in. All right, I'm going to position it here, and also here, and then there, and then here. And we're going to arrange this thing shortly, but for now, let's just do it this way. Okay. All right, so all these windows here are going to be 1 2 by 2 5 windows, apart from the kitchen. The kitchen window is going to be 1 2 by 1 1. So I'm going to come over here and duplicate it, and then call it kitchen window. Don't worry about that, it doesn't really matter. So for the height, I'm going to change this height to 1 1 0 0, and then the width is already 1 2, so I'm going to leave it like that. Here I'm going to edit this one. I don't need to. I just want it to be the height to be 1 5. Right. So I'm going to shift it in like that. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing for this one. All right. Then I'm going to ensure that everything is at 2 1. That's the head height. Cool. This should also be at 2 1. Exactly. We're going to position this window the way we want it to be, but in fact, I want it to be in the middle. So I'm just going to select this, select the window, and then click this EQ to equalize it and place it in the middle. The same thing for the dining. Position it in the middle just like that. And that is it for that. Yeah. So the next window we want to place now is the single windows. Okay. I'm going to have one single window over here, one over here, and then all the bathrooms and the toilets are going to have the same single windows, but then different size. So the first single window we're going to be placing is going to be 750 by 1.5. Right? But then the ones for the bathrooms are going to differ from it. Those ones are going to be 600 by 750. So I'm going to select it, I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to add bathrooms to it, and I'm going to adjust the height. The height is going to be 750, whereas the width is going to be 600. Right, and I'm going to say okay. So the same thing, I'm going to just select this and apply it, on all of them, and then I will select, and then make it 2 1 still. Okay. When I turn on this thing, you find out that save. Whenever Revit asks you to save, please endeavor to see that it's safe. When I turn in the thick lines, you are going to find out that these are no longer showing, as they should show. Because what happens is that where Revit is cutting this plan from, this window is above it. So for us to solve this issue now, we are going to raise the place that Revit is cutting this plan view from, so that this window will be part of what is being cut. Now to do that, we are going to do that with a view range. Right. In the extent category, under here, you're going to say view range. If you click on the edit, you're going to find this. So the only part I want us to adjust is the cut plane, right? I'm going to increase this cut plane to 1.4. And when I do that, it is going to start cutting this window, and it is going to open it up like it should open it up, right? So I want to flip this and keep it outside. Okay. Yeah. So for this particular window, I'm still going to edit it. The height of this is supposed to be 750 by 1.5. So the width, I'm going to adjust to 750. The height, I'm going to make it 1.5. All right. So I'm going to bring it out to flush with that. Okay, with that wall. The same thing I'm going to do over here. So I'm going to make sure that this is 2.1. That's the head height for everything, for all the openings. Sorry, this is supposed to be 2.1. Right. So I'm going to turn this back off. Now for this window, I'm going to offset it 150 from this wall. So here I'm going to add 150. You know what? To make this easy for me, I'm just going to delete this, select this, on my keyboard, click here. It is going to mirror it to that side. So here we're also having 150. That makes it very easy for me to do that. Now the windows are all there. If there is any other windows that we are omitting, we are going to add it later. Okay, here we are going to have a grill. That grill, we are going to be bringing it in later. But for now, I want us to add the doors. Okay, we're basically going to be having two sizes of door here, but then the door that we're going to have outside here is going to be a security door, even though it's still going to be 900mm door. So what we're going to do is that when we get to the working drawing level in this our course, we are going to be, describing it differently. But for the purpose of what we are doing, we're going to be doing that with the same door. So in the architecture, I'm going to be bringing in this door. You see door there, click on it. Now, okay, let me bring in the doors we're going to be using. Like I said, this is going to be in the description too for you to use. So this is a door. That is also a door. So I'm having, hold on a minute. Okay, these two are the doors. So I'm having a panel door and a flush door, right? This is a panel door. So I'm going to place it over here. And then in the entrance of the rooms, I'm going to place the panel doors as well. Right? But for these bathrooms and this interior, okay, here too, we're going to have a panel door. But for here and all those interior doors and all those things, we're going to be using the flush door that I just brought in. So I am going to find those single flush doors. I think this is it. Let's just use this one because, but then we're going to be adjusting it to give us what we want, which is 750 by 2.1. That is the size that we want, that we're looking for. So over here, I'm going to flip it this way and then place it. Don't worry, we're going to be positioning this door accurately. So I want this, okay, hold on a minute. Okay, this place is supposed to be 1 meter. So that our door of 900 will sit in between it comfortably. So I'm going to go and check the size of this. The width, where is the width? The width is 910. I'm going to reduce it to 900. Then the height is 21110. I'm going to make it just 2.1. So I'm going to say okay. Now when I do that, all the doors take these adjustments. Okay, so very perfectly sitting there. So I will just use this to align this. Oh, that didn't work quite well. All right. So in here, we're supposed to have like 1,000. So I'm going to adjust this a little bit to 1,000. Right. Cool. So this is supposed to be 750 by, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to adjust it to 1. And here I'm going to adjust this one to 750. Good. So here I'm going to make sure that we have like 100 mm from that wall. Okay. Let me just say 150. No, 100 mm is okay. For architrave purposes, if you're going to have architrave, you have to have an allowance like that so that I can be able to put your architrave. So the same thing over here, 100 mm. So this is supposed to be 1.5. Okay, so I'm going to reduce this to 1.850. sorry, add my 100 right back. Then take the one, make sure that here is 1000, and then shift this a little bit. Make sure that this is 12. Okay. All right. Ensure that this is 12. So here I'm going to return this to 1 meter. Okay, I'm going to make this 15 right back. Cool. So for the store, hold on a minute. I'm going to flush this to this wall, whereas here I'm going to have this like this. All right. So I think that is it. Okay, I actually need an additional door in this place. And then this one be on this wall like so. Okay, so that they are able to run out of this kitchen if need be. Now this is going to be a security door, a panel security door, but I'm going to duplicate it. Okay, and I'm going to rename this one properly. I'm going to call this 750 by 21. So that we can be able to add the cabinet that we need to add behind there. So the width, that's width. I'm going to make this 750. And that's all we need to do there. So here, when I draw a line, just for measurement purposes, you can see it is even barely enough, as you can see. So now we have it, right? So I'm going to duplicate this one as well and call it security door. Okay, and that's that for that. Now I'm going to ensure that I take this to this wall. And yeah, so I'm going to select all these dimensions and I'm going to delete them. All right, so I'm going to select this, all the flush doors that I added, and I'm going to mirror them to this side. Okay. I'm going to select this and delete it, then mirror it again. All right. So for these ones, let me just select these ones and mirror them. I'll mirror this one too. Then I'll mirror this. Then for the windows, in fact, let me just select the windows and mirror them. In fact, I think the best thing for me to do now is just to hold on a minute. Okay, it is not aligning at all. So the best thing for me to do now is just to select everything and mirror it over there. Just like that. And then the ones we have copied up, we are going to just replace all of them. Okay, we're going to replace all of them. So I'm just going to select this, copy them, come up here, select this and delete. I'm going to paste in the current view. Then I'll filter it and select only the walls. Okay. Things like this, they happen. Then here, I'll delete these two. And then I'm going to align to current view. I'll filter this. Okay, so here we go. So these ones, I am going to select the both of them. Then remove the top stuff. So we're having the doors and the windows and everything all over the place. Right. You can see if there is anyone that we are missing, we're going to add them later. Now, the next thing I want us to do is to add the floors. We need to add the floors for this thing to start coming together, right? So I'll come over here to the architecture and I'm going to click on floors. Make sure that what you're using is the 150, concrete 150. All right. So I'm just going to just add it on the inside part like that. I just prefer adding it on the inside part. Okay. Even though that during construction, it is going to come out here, but I don't like the way it looks on the Revit model when I model it. So I just put them on the inside part. Okay. If you prefer, you can put yours on the outside part. There is nothing stopping you from doing that, but that is not how I prefer to do mine. So yeah. So let me start trimming things out and leaving the ones I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to delete this one. I don't need that one. All right, so let's keep that part for now and then come back to it later. So I'm going to have something like this, something like that. Right, so I'm going to say yes. Mind you, I did this in the ground floor level. Okay, so the floor is going to be on the ground floor level, as you can see. So I can just copy this and then align them to levels. Okay, so they are going to magically appear up there, as you are seeing now. All right, cool. So I'm going to go back to the ground floor. And I'm going to select all these lines. Now, there is a difference between this ground floor and the other floors. And that difference is that the ground floor is accessed from here. You can enter the ground floor from this front part, and you leave it from this back part. But when you go upstairs, when you climb the staircase and get to this level, you enter this unit from here and this other one from here. So we're going to have an additional door over there. Okay. And then I'm going to repeat the same thing in here. So I'm just going to come here and change this into fine so that we can be seeing this door, this part of this door very well, so that we can flush it appropriately where we are supposed to flush them. Okay, so I'm going to just copy these ones. Go to the second floor and align to current view. And that is going to give you what you're looking for. Now, the next thing I want us to do is bring in the grill for here and for there. So I'm going to put the link for you to download this thing in the description. That's the grill. So do well to check it out and download it. Right. So I'm just going to copy it and bring it in. We don't have time to model it, right? Okay. If you want also, model it, if you want me to show you how you can model something like that, leave a comment for me in the description. I'm going to do just that. But for the purpose of what we're going to do now, I'm just going to put it in the description so you can copy it and paste into your file so you can follow along with what we are doing. All right. So I copied it. And I have successfully pasted it in here. So I'm going to keep it here. So the dimension of this is 600. So I'll try my best to keep it at the middle. Right? So how do I do that? I'll just draw a line, DL. Then I'm going to balance that line in the middle like so. Take it up. So I'll do this and then I'll come and, you see where the triangle shows up. That is the middle of that, okay. That is the middle of that grill. So I'm now going to confirm. So yeah, 200 by the both sides. And then in the middle, we have the 600 grill. So I'm going to come over here and take a look at it. It is properly positioned. It is well positioned the way I want it to be positioned. Okay. The width of this is 600, whereas the height, the unconnected height is 9,900. In case yours isn't like that, you should now be able to set it properly and make sure that this flushes properly where they're supposed to flush. Okay. You can see it flushes on that floor. Okay, so make yours flush there. So I'm going to, because that is not the only place we're going to have a grill. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to bring it over here. And I'm going to rotate it. 90, type in 90 for it to do the 90 rotation. Okay, see, there's something I need to talk to you about. Now, when you select an object and you select the rotation tool and you type in, you want to rotate it, you can type in the number you want. And you can see I typed in 90 now. It is going to rotate it by 90. But before you do that, in the options bar, I need you to notice something. Here you can see copy. Now, when this thing is on, it means that whatever you do, it is going to make a copy of it. Like when I rotate this thing, instead of it just rotating the object, it is going to copy it for me. Okay, that is, I don't know, maybe in the previous, when I was doing my own personal work, I needed to copy something while rotating it. So that's why it is like that. But now we don't need to do that. So I will select this thing. When I select it and select the rotation tool in the modify tab, I'm going to turn off that copy. Now, when I turn it off, I can now rotate it by 90. I will just type in 90 and then hit enter. It is going to rotate it for me. Now, how I want this one to be is I want it to be from wall to wall. So I'm going to, when I'm out here, align it properly the way I want it to be. Then click on it like so. Use the move tool. Then move it into place. Right. When I move it into place, I go to the 3D view and take a good look at it. This is where I want it to be. This is exactly how I want it to be. So I'm going to come back here, select it, and then paste it. Like mirror it, not paste actually. Select it and then mirror it. Now, when I do that, you're going to see it on the both ends. Right. So we have successfully brought in our grills. That is going to cover our ducts. Right. And the pipes, that is where the pipe is going to pass from. Yeah. Now, on this side, we're also going to have this grill on that side. So I better mirror that one to that side too. So I'll select it and then mirror it. So I'll have to ensure that, it's actually in the middle. As you can see, it's actually in the middle. So that's it for the grills. The next thing I want us to do now is to add our staircases. Okay, but before we do that, before we go ahead and do that, I want us to go ahead and cover this place. Like when I come over here, you find out that here is open. We need to add like a block wall to cover those places up, right? Even at the back, we have similar instances just like that one. So I'm going to just do that. And then underneath here, we need to add like a 300 beam, that is going to be 150 because 150 is going to also be embedded in this floor slab. So 150 is going to drop at each level. So we're going to just be doing that with a floor. So how do I do that? I go to the ground floor plan and I select a wall. And then in this wall, I'm going to set the base to be NGL and then the top to be ground floor, right? So I'm going to use this now. Just draw the wall. You don't really have to bother yourself about how the things are. So I'm going to use the trim tool, okay, trim tool, and then take it to that wall, then bring it in, and also bring, no, not like that. Oh no. And also bring it in. So now when I go over to the 3D view, you're going to see it like so. When it is coming up too much, I don't want that to happen. So I'll select this and I'm going to reduce the top. Like the top offset, I'm going to add minus 150 because then they will be interfering with each other and I don't want that to happen. So I'll select it, go back to the ground floor plan, mirror it over to this side. Okay, that has covered that place up for me. So I need to have things like that go up, you know, all the way. So I'll select this and I'm going to copy it and I'm going to align it to, let's just start by aligning it to the ground floor. Okay, this is not how I want it to be. I want it to be up there. Okay, I want it to be up there, so I'm going to move it up there. Remove the constraint and then move it up. Now when I move it up, you're going to see that same issue that we faced over there. Now because I want this one to be 150, I need to ensure that it's 150. And how do I do that? I'll go to the elevation view. Let me go to the ground floor plan and go to the elevation view for that front view. Now, this elevation, now when I open this elevation, you find out that we are not seeing anything. We're not seeing the view properly. That is because this thing, it is not covering the building well. Okay, that is the clipping line of the elevation. So I'm going to take it back so that when I open it again, you're going to be seeing the elevation properly. So I will now grab my dimension tool and make sure that this is 150, right? This is supposed to be 300 beam, you know, passing through that floor slab. But then I don't want it to be, you know, interfering with each other like this. So I'm going to bring it down to underneath that slab, right? The same thing. Is either I do it like that or I will come over here to the join tool and join it that way. Okay, so anyone you choose to do is still like the same thing. So I'll just join it like that. Okay, so that has settled it. So I'll just copy this now. I'll copy it and then I am going to align it to level. I'm going to align it to the first and second level. Sorry, I'm going to align it to the second and roof level. Let me see what we're going to get. Exactly what I wanted us to get. Yeah. So now I'm going to use the join tool. Okay. I've already set the shortcut for myself. That's JN for me. I don't know what it is for you. So if you don't have a shortcut, you can just come over here and grab the join tool and it's going to just do the work for you perfectly. Pretty soon we are going to start, you know, adding the roof and then we're going to finish off that part. But for now, I'm going to come behind here and do the same thing that I did, you know, for the back side. So I'm going to select the wall tool. I use the shortcut WA, the shortcut for wall, and I'm going to ensure that the base and the top constraint are set properly. It doesn't matter. I'm going to adjust it with the tool. So this one adjusted itself, but you can always come back here and change the constraint. So I'm going to align it properly. With this, I'm going to align this one so I can proper set the stuff where I want it to be. Now I'm going to put it in where they're supposed to be. Right. So I'm going to join it using the join tool. Okay. Now I'm going to copy it I'm going to copy it. Now, when I do this, I need these walls to be 300. Okay? I need it to be 300. So I'm going to make it minus 300. Okay? So I'm just going to use the align tool to align it properly with the other one. Now I'm going to join it using the join tool, like we have always been doing here. Like I always say, whenever Revit asks you to save, endeavor to see that you save. Okay, to avoid pains. So I'm going to align this to the second and the roof level, and then I'm going to say okay. And that is going to do that for me. Then I'm going to join it with the floor so that it will cut out the part that is being interfered, by the floor. As you can see, this is what we're going to have. So when we now start adding ceiling, we'll cover this place up with ceiling and then maybe put light. Okay? So, but for now, we have added the floor and we have added the beam. So the next thing for us to add are the staircases and the planters. In fact, let me add the planters first. All right, so let's go ahead and add the planter. So I'm going to just use model in place to add it. Okay, I'm going to use... Let me use planting. Okay, it doesn't really matter. You can use casework if you prefer. But I just like, since it's for planter, I might as well just use planting. So I'm going to offset it in by 75 millimeters. Just like that. Then I'll use the trim extend to corner to this one over here and trim it out. Now, when I finish doing that, I'll just finish it. Don't worry. We're going to control the height by coming over here. Okay, and bringing it down just like that. So I'm going to select it. In fact, let me go back to the ground floor plan and then mirror it into this place. Now let's go ahead and add the staircases that we are going to need. So for the one that is going to be here, we're going to use, let me just come over here. You see stair in the circulation category, stair. And I'm going to change it to the monolithic. That's, in fact, let me use the monolithic stair. That's cast in place stair, right? I want the tread to be 300. Okay, and I want this to be 150. The riser height to be 150. Okay, so I want the staircase to go from the natural ground level to where? To the ground floor. That means we're going to have 3 risers. Okay, so I'm going to just draw it like so and position it here. Now for the width of the staircase, it is going to be 1-1. So I'm going to reposition it the way I positioned it before. All right, so yes, that's it. So you see the way I drew this staircase, I drew it in such a way that it's going to lead you into this place. But if you were not able to do it that way, like draw it from the ground up, you can always come here and flip it. If you click on this, it is going to flip it for you. Now, when I come here, you're going to see what I've done. It flipped it the other way, which is not the way it's supposed to be. So I'm going to flip it this way. So I'm going to mirror this to this other side. Okay? Right. So I'm going to add another staircase in this place. So I'm going to create similar. Sorry, just going to come over here and adjust my settings. And I'm going to make this 300. I could have copied these ones and pasted copied these ones and pasted it, but let me just create this one. Other ones we're going to be using behind here, we're going to be copying them and pasting them and all that. But let's just go ahead and finish this off. So this 1695, and I'm going to move it to the middle of this place and then say okay. Now I'm going to copy this casework and I'm going to position it over here. Let me hide this. Okay, yeah, everything is in order. So I'm going to edit this model in place and I'm going to put it here. I want this to be 1.5. So I'm going to dimension this and move this, select this and then type in, 1.5 in there. And then here I'm going to type in 75 right back. Good. Then I will select this and then mirror it to this other side. Cool. Now we need the same staircases behind, just the way we have it in front of this place. So I'm just going to rotate it and then duplicate it. So when you hit the space bar, the rotation tool, you can change the center of rotation. Okay. So I'm going to keep it here and then I'm going to turn on this copy. So when I rotate it, it rotates it and make a copy of it for me. Okay, that is exactly what I want to do. Now I'm going to select this and I'm going to bring it down here. This one, I'm going to select it and then move it to where I want it to be, which is this place. This one, that same thing. I'm going to move it into position. Now when I come over here, you're going to see the staircases. Now I don't want these staircases to have handrails, so I'm going to select these ones. Okay. That's the handrails that came with the staircases. I'm going to select them and I'm going to delete them. DE on your keyboard to delete them. And they are gone. Right? So the next thing I want us to actually do is to create the staircase that is going to be inside in this place. Okay, the staircase we're going to create is going to start from the ground floor and is going to end on the first floor. So just like we created these staircases out here, we're going to create these staircases. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to make sure it starts from ground floor and it ends at the first floor. Now I've already set our riser height to be this. Let me come in here. Okay, the thread depth, I'm going to set it to 300 in here so we don't keep, adjusting and adjusting and adjusting. Now we're going to have 23 staircases for this. Let me make this 300. Okay. I'm going to adjust the width of the staircase. That's the run width of the staircase. I'm going to adjust it to 1050. Right. So I'm going to start drawing. Mind you, this is supposed to give us 23 staircases. So that means half of 23 is 11.5. So I'm going to create 11 here. And then come over here and create the remaining 12. Oh, you know what? Let's do it this way. Okay, so I'm going to align it this way and then align this one this other way. All right, so let me just balance this staircase to ensure that all is in order. So I'm going to make this 1755. Don't worry about that. I'm going to adjust that appropriately. Cool. So this is supposed to be 1050 as well. All right. I'm going to delete this one. I'll just drag this thing out here and then terminate it here. So I can also be using it to duplicate stuff. So let me see if I can join this. So how do I get rid of this line that is showing in that middle area? So I'm going to use an old trick in the book, which is line work. Right? I'm going to change this to invisible line. and I'm going to come here, click there, and that goes away. Now, when you come in here, you look here, you see two staircases that are joined together. Now, that reminds me, we're supposed to have a door here, but we do not have a door here. And now, let's go ahead and create the door leading into this staircase area, this stairwell. So to do that, like we did before, I'm going to come over here and click on the door. Now I'm going to select a double door like this. I don't think this door, okay, we don't have. Let me go ahead and find an appropriate door because I want an uneven double door that is going to be opening. So let me just go ahead and get such door. So I got it. I'm going to also attach this file in the description, so you do well to just get it from the description. So as you can see, the door is 1, 2, and the height is 2, 1. That's the head height is 2, 1. So I'm just trying to make sure that it is at the middle, which I think it is. Okay, so I'm going to also place it here as well, with it opening outward. Okay. Also in the middle. That's amazing. So yeah, we have actually done that. So for this staircase, we need it to actually go up to other levels. So I'm going to copy it, Control C, or you just come over here, click on this, and then come over here. You are now going to go over to the Modify tab, align. Okay, don't worry, we are going to open up that floor. The second floor is the last floor, so the staircase actually comes up here. You don't have to add another one. So I'm going to go over to the first floor, and then I'm going to open it up to accommodate our staircase. So is it that you use the shaft to do this, or you can do it the way I'm doing it? You can just come here and create this opening that I'm creating right now in this space. Okay, so for me to actually see what I've just done, I will use this tool to open it up. That is a section box. That staircase area is where I'm particularly interested in. So yeah. Yeah. So I'm thinking this should have started from this place. Okay, and then the same goes for this other one. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to make that adjustment just like this. All right. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to copy it. When I come over here, I'm just going to paste it like so. Now we have our staircase connecting as they are supposed to connect. Okay, connecting all the levels where they're supposed to connect. Yeah. Now I'm going to close this section box. And yeah. Inside. You know what? Let me just leave it outside because it's not going to show. Cool. Now we're done adding the staircases. The next thing I want us to actually add now, when you come up here, you will see that, down here we have a door, but up here we're supposed to have a curtain wall that goes from this level to the upper level. Right? So now I'm going to show you how to actually, edit and create your own curtain wall into place. So when we finish adding that, we're now going to add handrails where we need to add handrails in this scene, in this Revit project file. All right, so let's just go ahead and add the curtain wall first. Now to add curtain wall, we just come over here in the wall and then we just select the wall. Like I said, whenever Revit asks you to save, please endeavor to see that you save. You get why? Hold on a minute before we proceed. I'm seeing, okay, this is a line. Now, if we are particular about hiding this, you know how we do it. You come over here, use this, invisible, and it's gone. Okay, it's gone. It's not showing. Now, let's go ahead and create the curtain wall. Just select this, then come down here. You're going to see the curtain walls. This is the grill that we use for our ducts. Now, we're going to be editing this exterior glazing. So I'm going to select it and I'm going to come in here and turn on this automatically embed. What this automatically embed does for you is that it makes sure that it cuts the wall. Let's say if I don't turn it on and I come over here and draw it in this wall, you find out that it is just inside that wall. But when I come over here and turn on this automatically embed, it will cut the wall open. Okay, when I do this thing, you see it will cut the wall open. Now I want this to be 750. And I want it to be at the middle. Right, so this is the middle. And I'm going to select it. And I'm going to move it to the middle. Now, let me go back in there. There are other things we need to edit. For the vertical layout, just leave it as it doesn't really matter. It is going to create the borders for you because what we are having here is 1/8, so we are not even going to have any vertical layout. Right. So for the horizontal layout, I'm just going to change this because a lot of these things, there's a video I've done on this channel where I explained cutting walls and all these things in my Revit beginner's tutorial that I done some years back, where I explained all these, different grid settings. But the one I'm going to use now is fixed number, just so I can come out here and fix and put how many numbers of bars I want to have. Right. So for the vertical mullion, the mullion we're going to be using there is this rectangular 65 by 125. And then I'm just going to select it like so, Control C to copy it. I'll come down here and then Control V to paste it in there. It works. Trust me, try it. It makes life easier for you. It makes life easier for me. I don't know about you. So when I do it like that, as you can see, all right, it has positioned itself where I want. But then I want this curtain wall to start from this finished floor over here and end at at that place, just like that. That's what I want. And also, I want this the fixed number to be 4, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, which is what it already is. If you want, let me just show you how this fixed number works. If I put 2 here, it only gives me 2 in that middle, but I want 4. So it is going to give me 4 mullions, 1, 2, 3, 4, minus the borders. Right. So this same thing, I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it at this back. So I'm going to go to the first floor because that can only be seen on the first floor and the second floor. So I'll copy it like so, and I'm going to put it here. Now, when I come here towards the back, you're going to see it as well. Now we have added the curtain wall. The next thing I want us to do is add the roof. How are we going to do that? How are we going to add the roof to this building? So first of all, I need to do something first. I will go to the roof level and then turn on this underlay to be showing me the second floor or the first floor. It doesn't really matter if they are the same thing. So to be showing me like this. Now the next thing I want to do is draw a wall above there. Now I'm going to select the 150 wall that we have been using so far. So I will just start from here, just like a rectangle, and end it over here. The same thing for this place, the same thing for this place. Right, so I am just going to use the split to split it somewhere, and I'm going to trim off the part I don't need. Oh no. Now I'm going to bring this one down here. Right? Cool. Exactly. So I'm going to select this part and I'm going to delete it. Now I'm going to select all these that I've added, and I'm going to make the unconnected height okay to be 1.8. And on that roof level, I'm going to add the roof. Okay, I'm going to add the roof. This is the roof, so I'm going to select this roof. I'll select, hold on a minute. I'll select this one that's 300. And I'll duplicate it. I'll duplicate it and make it 10 millimeters. Okay, 10 mm. And I'll come in here and make it 10 mm. And I'll say, okay. I'll come to the offset and add 600. So wherever I am taking this from, it is going to give me that offset of 600. I don't know what I'm doing here, but then we are going to figure it out. Yes. So I think, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to select these ones and I'm going to delete them. Here, let me just add my 600 back, the 600 if projection. Hit the space bar to flip it for you if it is in the wrong direction. All right. So all these things on this part, I am going to what? Remove the slope from them. Even here. In fact, let me just, this part too. Let's see what we get. Shall we? Exactly. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to make it like 12. 12. I'm going to make it 10. 5. Okay, 7. I think 7 is okay. Right, I think 8 is so 5 is the best. So I can just raise this up to this point, right? So we're going to go ahead and add the fascia that's going to be underneath this roof, okay? We could have made this roof to be thick, like say 300 mm, and then we won't have to bother about that, but I like to do these things separately, right? So I'm going to add the fascia, and to do that, there are a lot of ways you can do this, but one of the easiest ways you can do it is with the use of model in place. So roof, select the roof inside there so that whatever you do will be behaving like a roof, so that I can host walls to it when the time comes. So I'm going to use this and then turn this off. I'm going to use this, pick this, and then I'm going to offset what I just picked. Oh, sorry, by 150. I want this one to be offset by 150. 150. All right. And then I'm going to draw this at an angle of 90 degrees. If you are not sure as to what you have done, you can use this to make sure that the angle is 90 degrees. As you can see, it is. So I'm going to give a little bit of gap from that exterior. I'm going to make it like 30 mm. Okay, and then I'm going to copy the same thing and then paste it here. Yeah. So with this now, I can come over here and make this 1.5, so we can have more, room, and then drag this thing where we need it to be. Right. Okay. All right. So the next thing I want us to do now is, before we even finish it, there is this part of this roof that we don't need, and I'm going to trim it out. And how are we going to trim it out? We are going to trim it out with the void extrusion. So I am going to set this to be the roof level, and I'm going to say okay. So now I'm just going to very quickly trace out the part that I want this void extrusion to get rid of for us. You can even pass it the way I've passed others. So I'm going to say yes. And then pull it up. When I pull it up, you see as if nothing is happening. Do not worry about that. I'm going to use the cut tool and cut it off. That has solved the problem. And I will say yes, okay. Now, these walls that I created, I want them to stop underneath the roof, right? So I'm going to use the attach top to base. And then that has solved that for me. Now, this thing I copied here, I don't want it to be like this. I want to select this part, delete them, and then have this thing get to the end. Just like this. Get to the end, just like that. Yeah, that one is already like that. So there's a design, a little bit of design I want to do in front of this place to help tie this thing together. Okay, now that we are here, I want us to just do something to tie it together to make it look nice. Just to make the design look nice. So first of all, I want this to be 450. So I'm going to add, let me see how that works. Exactly, 450. Then I'm going to bring this one down. This same stuff, this same stuff, I'm going to do it for the back side as well. So I'm going to hold down Control so I can do this more than once. So Control, click here. So it's going to bring it down for you and make everything to be 450. Now I want to do a design that will go from here down to this side, flushing from this area. So how do I do that? I do that using the sweep tool. All right. So I'm going to go over to the ground floor. This second floor. Okay. And I'm going to come over here, model in place, and I'm going to just select a wall. So it's going to be on the wall surface. So it makes sense to use a wall. Then I'm going to use sweep this time around. All right. Then I'm going to sketch my path. I want to be able to model this thing on this other side. So that means I'll be on this elevation when I'm modeling it. This is the plane where I'm going to model it. Right. So I'm going to end it here, and also, so when I do my sweep, it sweeps the profile I'm going to, model around this path. Okay. So yeah. So I will say, okay, I'm done with creating the path. Let me now create the profile. So I'm going to go to that elevation. So let me just select one of the elevations. I think it should be this one. That's the first one I create. Okay, it is not that one. It is not. So hold on a minute. Let me go to the other one. Yes, this is it. So I'm going to turn this into wireframe mode so I will see the place I created this thing. Now I'm going to make this in 25. mm and ensure that it's 450. Yes. So I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to say okay. Now when I come out of there, you're going to see that design on that place. When it is time for us to work on the presentation aspect of this, you're going to see we're going to color it. We're going to color different, parts of this building. We're going to make it look so nice. And this band that we just added on top of there, it is part of what we're going to, put in a way that is going to make it presentable. Now, the next thing I want us to do are the handrails. So I'm just going to go over to the ground floor plan and start adding my handrails from there, because there are supposed to be handrails here as well, and then at the upper level as well. So I'm going to go to the architecture tab and I'm going to select handrail. Now I'm going to select the type of handrail that I want to add. So I'm going to use this 900 pipe, and I'm going to draw the first one like so, and then finish it. Okay, I'm going to, create a similar, just the handrail, and I'm going to put it there. Now, when we get to the 3D view, you're going to see what we've just done. This is what we've done. Now I'm going to go to the ground floor, and I'll select this and then mirror it, so we don't have to do it over there again. So I'm going to create a handrail for this other side as well. Make sure it's a 900 pipe. And then stop it here. Now I'm going to mirror it. Cool. So on the first floor, okay, whatever I do, I mirror to the other side. So here we're going to also have a handrail. So yeah, something like that. So where is this? 75 mm. 75 mm. Good. So I'm going to flip it to this other side. Then I'm going to copy this one because they're exactly the same thing as what we're going to be having above. I'm going to copy them, and I'm going to just come over here and paste them. Now you can see our handrails are in place. Now there is a design I want us to do. So I'm going to, with this same wall, but then I'm going to disconnect this height. I'm going to make it unconnected. Okay, it's just so I can just impute the height I want. All right, so I'm going to make this 800 and then bring it out to this end. Flush it. Make sure it flushes with this one. Now I'm going to do the same on that side. So I'll ensure that it flushes. So, oh, it's even coming out even more. Okay, just select it, select this one, and copy it. I hope, okay, we even have a line here. Exactly. Cool. So I'll select this, bring it up here, and then paste it. Align it to the current view. So when I come over here, you're going to be seeing that design. Right. That's very good. All right, so you can see what we've done. It doesn't really look like much, but we're going to adjust all these things with time. Right. Now we are done modeling this building. Everything is here, as you can see. So it is time that we go back to the site and model the site. All right. To create this site, I'm going to, opt for a very simple site design, which is to add greenery, around the building. But then I'm going to give space for the building apron. All right. Here too, I'm going to stop this one over here so that the car will have where to back into in order to drive out. Right. So I'm just going to terminate this one over here like so. make sure that I have enough clearance from this building. So I'm going to have like 1.5. Normally 1.2 is okay, but 1.5, let's just give it 1.5. From this staircase, I'm going to have 1.5. So we have clear 1.5 space around the building. Another 1.5 meters. All right, so yeah. So here, I am going to, I am going to fillet this so that, it's for cars now. So cars need to, turn into this space. So I am going to fillet it. So I think, let me see, 2.5. 2.5 is okay, so that they can easily turn into this place. Okay. This is the building, and this is the driveway that leads. This is the gatehouse, and then we have a driveway leading into this gatehouse. Now we have the boys' quarter, right? So these, I'm going to just remove these. Okay, cool. All right, so here too, I'm going to have something like we have in the entrance part. Let me see if we can accommodate it. So that is it over there. So we're having greeneries behind here, greeneries at that back, and then driveway right in the middle. That's pretty simple. But that's not all we are going to do here. We also have a road. Okay. So in front of this compound, usually you have greenery. Then walkway, or maybe even drainage. But sometimes the drainage is, situated under the walkway. So that is what we're going to do for this one. The drainage is situated under the walkway. So this greenery is 1 meter. Then this is 1.5. Okay, 1.5, 1.2, whatever. So let me just align it. And then after this, you're now going to have the main road, the road that the cars drive on. So I'm going to make this one 6 meters. Okay, so let me just give it a good curve into the compound. That's 3 meters. Here too, I'm going to give it 3 meters. That's the radius of these, fillet. Going to be 3 meters. Now we are having a problem because this is not working out. So here we cannot have that same 3 meters. So I'm going to do this manually. We're going to have, the best curve. So it's 2000. Let me see 2.1. Okay. So let me come back here and do 2.1 here. So that cars can easily make this turn and get into the building. Will come turn, you get. So yeah. That's why we are using a very generous 2.5. Okay. So yeah, maybe I can even do this. I can, use 3 meters for these two. Yeah. Something like this. So the car can easily, make that move. So, but this is 2.5 still. So I think what I have before is going to suffice. Yeah. Exactly. So it is time for me to start modeling it, right? I am going to, first of all, I'm going to use floor for that. So first of all, I'm going to come in here, duplicate this floor that we have, and then call it an asphalt. Okay, don't worry about anything. We're going to be changing the materials when the time comes. So, but for now, this is what we are going to do with the asphalt. We are going to create the main road with it. So I like to keep this in at 90 degrees. Good. Exactly. All right, so oh no, there's just one little thing I should have added there. Okay, so here I'm going to just trim it off using the trim extend to corner tool. Now close it. Something is not right somewhere. You say, okay, show me. Oh, I need to trim it here. The line was double. So we have this. Don't worry about how it looks. And then let me just turn this into hidden line. HL on your keyboard to turn it to hidden line. So we're not distracted by the textures of this. So I'm going to come in here again and I'm going to duplicate this. I'll duplicate it and call it greenery. Or, you know what, let me just call it lawn. Okay, and I'll say okay, and I'll come here. We have a lawn here. We also have a lawn here. Okay, so that same lawn, I'm going to use it for inside the compound where we have lawns like the green area. So I'm just going to focus on the areas that fall in within the side boundary. I'm just going to trim this off. Sorry, I just need to trim off so I can be able to, oh, okay. All right, let me see what happens. Okay. Right, so we have the green area for inside there. And then the next thing that is remaining is the paved area for this side. So I'm just going to, duplicate this and call it pavement. Don't worry about it. Just, follow me. Let's create it first. We're going to be making them look like what they are supposed to look like. So this paved area is going to start where the asphalt ended. Just like that. All right. So I am going to, okay, I think that's it. Now I'm going to trace out the building footprint. Okay. You also have to be careful because if you have the lines, like I have the lines, if you're using tab to like orbit you get to where you need to get to, it might mistakenly use those lines. And some of these lines are no longer accurate. We have since we created them, made some adjustments to our building walls. Okay, so you just have to take the pain of going around and clicking on the external part of the wall. There's actually walls, okay? Yeah. So I think I will just delete this one. And then add this. Let's not forget the duct. So split. Exactly. So I'm going to split this as well. Exactly. So I've successfully removed the building footprint. Now I'm going to say OK to this. So when I come over here in the 3D view, I'm going to see the full. Okay. There's another paved area around here. Okay, paved area on this external part of the site. We are going to be dealing with that now. So I'm going to select this and I'm going to duplicate it and then call it paved area, pavement 2. So that sorts itself out. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to start by picking the lines. That is why I do this. That is why I actually add these lines before coming to model with them, because they make it so much easier to do the modeling work that I have to do. Okay. So that's good. So for the greenery, I'm going to raise them up by 75 mm from the ground. This one as well. Then this, I'm going to reduce this one by 75 mm. That's the road. Now, when I do that, it is going to create this thing, okay? It's going to create this, gallop, if I should call that myself. But then there is something I can do about it, and that is to use this modify sub-element for the floor. Come here, select here, and pull this up to that level. Okay, when I do that, it is going to create this kind of effect on the floor. If I don't want it to be like this, let me just Ctrl Z. What I can do is to select this. Let me go back to the NGL. In fact, select it like so. Ctrl X to cut it off. Close it up over there. Now, I want to create another asphalt. Then I'm going to align to the current view. That part of the road will just fall into place. Now I'm going to do this. Now, when I come into here, I have to impute my minus 75 so that it flushes. Now, I'm going to use the same thing again, and I'm going to make sure that it aligns there. When I do it this way now, that weird line doesn't come out. And, oh my God, let me use texture. And you can see that the road has this, what do I call it now? has this gentle drive up into the compound. That helps to keep the stormwater away from the compound and all that. Yeah. So this might have to go lower than this, but for now, I think I don't have any problem with this. You know what? Let me make it minus 100. Then this should also be minus 100 millimeters. So that means I'll just first of all reset the shape and then drag it to where it needs to be. Okay, so when you look at this, you now realize something that we don't have. We have the let me put it back. We have the floor models, but we don't have the curves, right? There are various ways you can add curves to this, but there is a very simple way that I'm about to show you. Okay, but before we even do that, let's go ahead and add the fence, right? So I'm going to add the fence. It's just walls. So I'm going to select walls. And I'm going to unconnected height. Going to start it at, let me just say 2.4. If it's too high, we're going to reduce it later. So for now, I'm going to cut the fence here and make sure they fall in properly where they're supposed to fall in. Okay, so that was the fence behind and by the side. Okay, we might need to add a gate. In fact, let me go and get a gate and put in front of there. I'll go to my metric library. Let me just search gate and see what comes up. Okay, so let me just bring in this one. So I'm going to go to the NGL and I'm going to rotate this gate into position. So I'm going to move it till it comes into place. I'm going to flip this the other way around because this is just supposed to. Okay, it's just supposed to be this way. Let this one stop. Right at the beginning of the gatehouse. And then I'm going to drag this one down. I'm going to delete this. Okay, so we have a gate now, I suppose. Yeah, that's a gate. Yes, exactly. So that's the gate. Okay, so that's it. So I'm going to add the curves now. How do I add this curve? I'm going to come over here under the floor. Okay, where's floor? Floor. I'll drop it down. You're going to see slab edge. Okay, I'm going to use this slab edge. But when I add, let me just show you what happens when I add it. When I add it, this is what we are going to see. This is not a curve. I don't know what, this is not a curve. This is actually a slab edge. So we are going to use this and do our curves, and I will show you just how. So let's first of all, before we do anything, I'm going to open that same metric library. Don't worry, I'm going to give you, all these files I'm using. I'm going to give you this profile I'm about to use now. Okay, so profile, you're going to see, let me see if, okay, you can see curve or curve profile, anyone. So inside here, I just want to use this one. Okay, just want to use that one. So hold on a minute, let me see the curve profiles. Let me see if there are other ones there that I can use. Okay, it's just the same thing. Let me just use this one. So when you drag it in, it's as if nothing happened. But when I come in here and I will duplicate this thing down and call it curve, right? I'll now come in here to select the profile. When I'm in here, I'm going to see all the profile. You can see 16 millimeter radius and 19 millimeter radius. Let's use the 16 millimeter radius. Okay. So when I use it, this is what happens. So I'll just flip this the other way so that we have our, curves. As you can see, that is it. So I can just delete this thing and do, slab edge and select the curve that I just created and then attach it where they're supposed to be, like so. So I'm going to keep adding this till get to the end. And even then, I can still come over here and continue adding it. Good. So when I finish it, I just want to make sure that it is touching the ground, which is this. So I will select here and select there. It is going to bring it down to that surface. Okay. And we also need curve out here. So I'm going to just add that curve out there. So create similar. I create similar for you. I'm just going to leave it that way and then come out. I'm going to create another similar so that you understand. So because these two things are not on the same level, you get. So this one, I'm going to create another curve to cover up because that's the green area. So I will try my best to flush the both of them. This one, I'm going to bring it down to this level. Let's see what happens when I try to make it the same. Still covered. Yes, it's still covered. So that same thing, you see, it has been, all of them are now aligned because these are connected already. As you can see, when I select it, all of them get selected. Now, assuming we had something on that part of the road, we would have done it. Okay, if you want, you can do it. But for now, we are done with the modeling aspect of this. Now, I have an assignment for you. And this assignment is for you to create your own gate model, gate and generator house. You can also add your own generator house. I did this thing to add generator house if you want to. Okay, but the important thing is let us have a gate house here and also design boys quarter. Okay, it's going to be a bungalow. Just like add as much self-contained units as you can add. You know what a self-contained is? It is going to have a bedroom. It is also going to have a kitchen and a bathroom. Okay, that is what. So add as much unit as you can and make it look nice, right? So in the next class, we are going to be, making this look presentable. We're going to be doing the presentation aspect of this. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you were able to follow this video without any confusion. Please, if you have any confusion about whatever it is that we have done in this class, if there is something that is supposed to be in the description, be it a model or a component or a file that you will need to help you follow along in this, class, and it is for one reason or the other not made available in the description, do well to ask me in the comment section. Or if there's any question, like I was saying before, also do well to ask me in the comment question or when we see in class. All right. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you learned a lot. Okay. If this is your first time on this channel, if you have not subscribed yet, do well to subscribe. Okay. I post videos like this all the time on this channel. Right. And if you found this video helpful, you can share this video with your friends, okay? You can share it on your status. That helps me very much with my reach on YouTube, so I can reach more people, so that we can teach more people how to model BIM compliant models and then do hyper-realistic render, which is our goal here at Simple or Difficult, right? Like I said before, thank you very much for watching this video. See you in the next class. Bye.